Hello everybody, welcome back to Edgewater Ranch. As you can see, we are out here doing some planting. We had to make a quick pit stop here we need a little bit of fuel and some def in the tractor here. So we're going to go ahead and get those all filled up. So I got field 23 over there all done. And I just wrapped up doing headlands here on field 5. So now we can just focus on going back and forth here. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We just, like I said, we had to stop and fill some fuel and def in this guy. We should be all set for a little while. Let's pull this guy off to the edge of the field here. Perfect. And away we go. Alright, so, little update. So we do have a fair amount of spraying to do here. I'm not entirely sure why field 1 has nothing on it, but it doesn't, except for where I worked up. But everything else has quite a bit of weeds on it. But we did get all of the oats finished up. On the cattle side of things, we did finally get some heifers in our heifer calf barn there that reached full maturity. Let's see here, if we go to the cattle and we go to the breeding barn, you can see here 18 months. So they have no birth yet. As you can see, we did just move them over into the breeding barn to get them thrown into the rotation, thrown into the mix. So we've finally started growing the herd. Dwight and Tyson are out taking care of getting cattle fed, bedded, and everything moved around there. So they're going to work on that for a while till I'm done planting. Then one of them is going to jump in this tractor, get it hooked back up to the roller, and they're going to get these cornfields rolled, and I'm going to jump in the sprayer and go start knocking some weeds out. Get ahead on that, and then go from there. Hopefully soon we'll be laying down some fertilizer. Once the corn starts coming out of the ground, we're going to hit it with liquid fertilizer with the Nutramax side dress bar, and then we'll let the corn grow up a little more before we go over it with herbicide, and then should be good for a while. We definitely are going to need some fertilizer on this stuff when you get out and walk around the field, or even looking at it here. Nitrogen, very, very poor in these two fields. Some definitely good nitrogen in these fields, and this is as good as it gets for grass. It really doesn't require much nitrogen, which is nice, but the hay is coming up nice. So are the oats. We did go kind of drive around and take a look at them this morning before I got going in the planner here. And it all does look really, really nice so far. Hopefully it stays nice and we don't have any issues down the line. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you ate way too much and enjoyed some football, if football is your thing, and had a good time. So, one thing I have noticed with this planner, it does take forever to drop down. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't ever remember having that issue with this thing, but apparently it isn't. I guess wouldn't necessarily call it an issue, but just a thing with this planner. So you're seeing this earlier in the day today, earlier than a video would normally be out on a Friday. The reason for that being that this weekend, so today, tomorrow, and Sunday are going to be double video days. So later on today, we'll be kicking off a FS25 series. So you guys definitely tune into that. At the moment of me recording this video, I have not decided on a map or a setup on that map, but by the time you guys see this, I will have something set up and figured out. So, like I said, be sure to tune into that. I've got like 5 different maps that I'm deciding between, so we'll definitely jump into something and get going on that. But I'm kind of thinking moving forward, we'll have a video every day of Edgewater here, and then Friday, Saturday, Sundays will be double videos, with the second one being FS25. Kind of thinking that's going to be the easiest way to maintain 2 series going on and continue daily uploads. Because of course, during the week, I don't have as much time to do the off-camera work and, recording, getting them out, uploaded ahead of time. So weekends are kind of when I really hammer out off-camera work, videos, getting things done. So I think that'll be kind of the easiest. And like I mentioned in a previous video, because of how much time I have into this save and having finally gotten it somewhat to where I want it to be, kind of the way I was planning on having this when I first started this save game. Of course, when I first started the save game, I was running I think like a 2388 internet or case combine, and sickle mower, a conditioner. I think we had like 50 cows. It started out really, really small, and now it's progressing to more the style that I want. I think moving forward, as we kind of expand more, I want to start adding in a couple of feedlots, and then as we get steer calves, they're going to go to the feedlot to fatten up before we sell them, and then, you know, when we start kind of rotating some of those new steers in to replace the old ones in our breeding barns, um, then of course those older ones will move over to the feed lot to get finished off and then go to the sale barn. So kind of want to add in a feed lot somewhere. You know, we might down the road maybe rebuy 24 or 25 or both even. Probably more so 25 than 24 there, but I'm kind of thinking that'll be the best area, or maybe even down here by the sale barn. Um, Somewhere. We'll find a place when the time comes, but, or even 47, but that might be a little bigger than we need. We'll see. But we will find somewhere to build it, and that'll be the place for it. Then, of course, when that time comes, we'll have to put up some more buildings there for, you know, feed and things of that sort. And, of course, probably buy another mixed truck just because it'll probably be a ways away rather than always driving everything back and forth. We can just get another and have it there and just run back and forth in our side-by-sides or pickups, whatever we have going on. That'll be kind of the plan. This is definitely going to be one heck of a cornfield when harvest time hits. Oh, goodness. We are going to have some corn around this place, that is for sure. And oats. We're going to have a lot of crop in general. Oh, and I did not set it to lower soon enough. There we go. Gotta give it a little time. I don't think... Oh, okay, this thing does have a hitch on it. I don't know if it works. I've had planters with hitches and they don't work with certain things, but if we really wanted to, we could be pulling a liquid cart, but most of the time I usually put down my fertilizer either with liquid tanks on the planter or pulling one or a combination of the two. Never really side dress all that much, so figured it'd be something different for once. And as you can see, I think our money is a little bit higher than it was last episode. We did take out a 300, I think it was a $300,000 or $400,000 operating loan. 300. Just to kind of get us through the year. We do have a lot of expenses now with our hired guys, and now, you know, higher fuel costs with some of this equipment. Of course, you added on DEF costs now with the newer equipment, and having more land, we got more property tax and costs there, so takes a lot more money to get through the year. So we did have to pull out a little bit of a loan, but we did have all the previous loans paid off this year, so that kind of helped our case out at the bank, and you know, showing the operation. I mean, it took a little bit of convincing, but not a whole lot. Just when they saw kind of the plan for the year and everything we got going on, it really helped our case. So it really didn't take a whole lot to get approved for the loan. And I see we are almost out of seed again. I think this will be the 4th time I've refilled just on this field. We've been burning through a lot of seed on this field, so not necessarily a bad thing, but we will definitely have to do some treating this winter, probably. Get some more seed produced rather than going to the co-op and buying it. Because oats and corn are going to be our main crops, so we'll just pull some out of the bin, treat it, throw it in the seed bin, and away we go. Of course, if it was a little more accurate to real life, where, you know, we were using only certain seeds, I mean, I could, I guess, throw the seeds add-on in here, and we could have a bin that only has grass seed, a bin only has oats, and a bin only with corn. You know, we could throw that add-on back in here. I do have it. I have played with it before, but it usually seems like when we hit seeding time, we're just trying to get going and get it done, and that adds in a slight headache. But we're going to pick up this little piece up here. Yeah, you can see there we got quite a nice looking oats field. So I found if I start lowering the planter before the tractor gets to the unplanted areas, then it seems to kind of time itself perfect. It definitely makes it a pain trying to manage doing it that way, but it does work out. Quite a dip in there. Let's fix that quick here. This is the one thing about, you know, redoing fields like this, plowing up these areas. It does not always get it perfect. So when you go back to seed it or do whatever, that's kind of when you find the imperfections. Alright. So let's grab pickup, which is, of course, conveniently on the opposite end of the field. I think the guys were gonna start taking care of some yard work once they got done feeding. I know they were talking about it this morning. Start cutting some grass, but not sure if they're going to or not. Guess we'll have to check in with them here after a little while, but I know they got enough stuff going on, getting everything fed and bedded down, so I'll have to give them a call here in a little bit, have them see if they can run out here and grab this and get it filled back up for me. That way I can just keep on going. It'll definitely be nice next year doing tillage. We won't have all these spotty strips anymore because the fields will be fully seeded. So we're kind of just gonna keep doing a rotation. You know, next year. So I guess let's back up here. My plan is with tillage, the only tillage that we're gonna do on existing fields, you know, like what we're farming this year, is we're just gonna run it over the corn stubble and work the stalks under, because the corn ground will go into oats next year, and then the corn will move over to the oats stubble. So we're just gonna kind of keep our ground in a rotation, and every year we'll work the corn stalks. So basically every field gets worked every other year in a sense. Of course, once we pick up more fields and, you know, we do some work to them to combine and, you know, get rid of tree lines, things like that, the newly purchased fields will get tillage done to them, similar to how we did it this year, where we ran tillage on, we ran it on all of these fields, but pretty much every field had some kind of work done to it this year. So that'll be the plan, and then of course, you know, once we get to where we own all of the fields that we're gonna be owning, because you know, if we take a look here, like I plan on buying field 6 and, you know, basically all of these other fields here. Not too sure about 35 yet, but like 6 we'll take out all of these trees and waterways and things like that, make it one nice big field. These 4 here we would combine together. Not too sure. Actually, I would probably just combine 6, 32, and 34 and just have a big monster over here. And then 4, 33, 41, and 40 would make a field. And then 39, 38, 37, and 36. So, you know, I think we'll add 1 in each year, maybe. 1 area. We'll see kind of how things go. But, you know, once we get all of those fields, then we can just kind of stay in our constant rotation, and every year till up corn stalks and put oats on it, put corn on oat stubble, and just kind of keep going with it. So that'll be the plan for all of that. But what I think we'll do is we're going to call it a video for today. And I'll get the planting finished off camera, and then we'll get one of the guys going on rolling, and then yeah, then we'll come back when we get out spraying. I think the guys, I think before they go mowing, I think they were going to get the spray trailer all set up for me, get some shuttles on it, get it full of water, and get the sprayer deck unfolded, and so that way basically I can just put the planter in the building, jump in the sprayer, load it on the trailer if they don't load it for me, and jump in the truck and head out. So I think that's kind of what they were gonna do, just help me out, get moving. That or I might go spray tomorrow, we'll see. Just gonna see how the day goes. But yeah, when we come back in the next video, we'll be laying some herbicide down on that oats and get that all taken care of. So that's gonna do it for today, folks. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. If you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, stick around, and we'll catch y'all in the next video.